Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. Pooter students and staff, my name is Tom, and yes, your eyes do not deceive you. We are back with another episode of the PHS News. I apologize for this being a very informal episode. However, circumstances beyond our control have forced us to do something that we all don't want to do. So here we are. We still wanted to do the PHS News. We still wanted to bring you guys news coming from the district and all over the place with this COVID-19 outbreak going on. The plan is that during the time off, we're going to be broadcasting every
Tuesday.
Instead of Tuesday. Every Friday we're going to have a news episode that you can watch on your own whenever you want. We'll have news about the outbreak, news about PSD stuff, and also some funny little skits along the way. So a lot of you are living in quarantine right now, and as of this moment in Larimer County, there has been a stay-at-home order issued until April 17th, which is also when the school is going to be out for. So we put Riley to the test to show you some awesome stuff you can do while in quarantine.
Hey Pooter, I'm Riley, and we at PHS News hope you're having a great time during this quarantine. Now, while the entire state is on lockdown, we want to hear from you. How have you been managing your time at home, and what have you been doing to entertain yourself? You can send us videos in, and we can take care of editing for you if you'd like. Send in any school-appropriate footage to this email here, and hopefully they'll be up on next week's episode. If you would like more details or if you have any questions, you can also talk to us through this email. Thanks, guys!
Thanks, Riley. Now, let's talk about some awesome sports going. I've got my notebook here full of stuff. Let's see here. There's no sports. Here, let's talk about some events. Yeah, this is blank. School's closed. There's nothing going on. But you know what is going on? Online learning. And here's Bryce to tell you about how to stay motivated during these troubling times of online learning.
Hey Pooter, this is Bryce. Obviously we are not at school, and some of you may enjoy learning from home, but some of you may be struggling. If you are struggling at staying focused or finding motivation to do schoolwork, here are some tips for you. If you are struggling with staying focused, you can take a break, you can go for a walk, and you can listen to some music while you are doing work. You may find yourself becoming distracted by social media and your cell phone. My advice? Just destroy it. If you're struggling with motivation, you can make a schedule that works for you and try to stay on that schedule as closely as you can. And as always, make sure you are checking your email every day so that way your teachers I hope you find some of these tips helpful. This has been Bryce with your PHS News.
Thanks, Bryce. Now, you might be wondering why we're doing remote learning. Well, that's because we want to enforce this policy of social distancing. But what is social distancing? Well, Ben and I have prepared a little neat segment about social distancing. Social distancing is a brand new policy by the CDC and the WHO in order to stop the spread of COVID-19. But what does social distancing look like?
The CDC recommends that people stay approximately 6 feet apart from one another.
This will help then stop spreading the sickness. The only time you should close this gap is if you know with 100% certainty that you and whoever you are interacting with is not sick and or out of complete necessity. The CDC has stated that after coughing and sneezing, droplets are left in the air, and if you get hit with these particles, it makes it so you get sick. So make sure that you stay 6 feet away so you don't get hit with these particles.
Sometimes, people are jerks and don't want to maintain this policy of social distancing. So here's a couple things you can do to make sure people don't get too close.
Number 1. Forget showering and using deodorant.
If you smell really bad, people won't actually want to come near you.
Number 2. Ask people nicely.
This works most of the time, but sometimes people are still jerks and will refuse to move, like this idiot. Which leads directly into...
Number 3. Be aggressive.
In the event that someone doesn't respect your personal space, be mean about it.
Hi, Ben!
And finally, number 4. Never interact with anyone again.
Germs are yucky. Even without the virus, you can still get horribly sick from other stuff, which is why you should never go outside or interact with anybody.
Cut!
What?
Ben, we're supposed to give helpful tips.
Fine.
Guys, try to at least maintain 3 feet of distance and just stay isolated for a little bit, even if you're not feeling sick. And if you are, especially stay inside. If we all do this, we can get through this and return to our normal, everyday lives.
Also, just wash your hands and don't touch your face.
Yeah. Okay, back to the news. We hope you found some of that useful. Now, there have been a lot of rumors, misconceptions, and just fake news going around about this COVID outbreak. So Dylan put together a little informational piece about misconceptions of the coronavirus.
Alright, let's talk about the coronavirus real quick. So unless you've been living under Mount Everest for the past couple months, the coronavirus is causing a lot of problems. The stock market is doing terribly, events are being canceled, schools are being canceled, a lot of people are losing their job. It's just a terrible situation, all things considered. And unfortunately, with world events such as this, there's a lot of misinformation out there around the virus. Misinformation as to its origins, its lethality, and how seriously we should take this situation. So first off, let's address some of the false information about the origins of the virus. No, it is not a biological weapon developed by China and or North Korea. There's just no evidence for that, and unless news comes out that North Korea developed this, not a thing. Also, this virus didn't come from some guy in China eating bat soup. That's just not how this works at all. So how lethal is the coronavirus? So in about 3 or 4 months, the coronavirus has infected 400,000 people. If we look at the flu in the United States, it infected around 270,000 people during the entire flu season, which is about as long as the coronavirus has been around. So in a similar amount of time, the coronavirus has infected a little less than double the amount of people that the flu has. It's also killed about 20,000 people so far, and that number is rising. In the United States, the death toll is just going up and up and up. So really, we should take this very seriously. Social distancing and closing down schools is not an overreaction as a lot of people think it is, because this virus is really serious. And sure, the main groups of people that are at risk are the elderly and those who are immune compromised, but that's a lot of people. You know, I bet every one of you watching has at least one person that you can think of that would be susceptible to the virus, and some of you might also be susceptible. There are some new cases coming out that younger people can die from this virus. Now, while it's less likely than people who are older or people who are immune compromised, there's still that risk, so we do need to take this seriously. Just make sure you're checking where your sources are coming from. If it's not the CDC, you should be a little skeptical because the CDC doesn't have any media bias, so they don't have any reason to give you false information, basically. So really, listen to what the CDC has to say. If you're getting your news from a different source, fact-check them. It's really easy to do that nowadays. There are many websites you can go to fact-check your sources. And just stay informed. That's really important.
Thanks, Dylan. That's really helpful. If you want to learn more about the coronavirus and stay up to date with the news, other than just the PHS News, there are some websites you can go to. You can go to the Larimer County website, the Colorado COVID-19 website, the CDC, and any news source of your choice. Most of them are reporting pretty well. We recommend that you use a variety of news sources so you can get an idea for what's actually going on, and there's a wide perspective of stories and coverage. Well, Pooter, we hope you enjoyed this little brief news episode, and we'll see you next week. This has been Tom with your PHS News.